finding side lengths of rectangles given one dimension and an area or a perimeter. All right, so they say answer the questions below. The area of a rectangle garden is 6,882 meters squared. So we've already talked about this. If it's a rectangle, then area equals length times width. So this is the basic formula for calculating area of a rectangle. So then they tell us if the width of the garden is 74 meters, what is the length? So we know the area is 6,822. And then they told us that what the width is, they want to know what the length is. So we still have L, but we know that width is 74. So we can just, instead of A for area, we put 6,882. Instead of W, we put 74. So this is times, I put the dot in here. Normally, we would just write this as 74L like this, but I was writing it backwards, so that's why I put the dot in. So this is being multiplied. To solve it, we just simply undo the multiplication to move it to the other side of the equal sign. So then we end up 6,882 divided by 74, and we get 93. If we scroll down here, it shows that they get 93 for the length. So they did, in fact, get that answer. And then part B says the perimeter of a rectangle window is 314 centimeters. If the length of the side of the window is 85 centimeters, what is the width? So perimeter of a rectangle equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Because if we remember what a rectangle looks like this, we have length, length, width, width, because the left and the right would be the same and the top and the bottom would also be the same. So we can go length times 2 to get the left and the right, width times 2 to get the top and the bottom, and then just add them together. So the calculation would then work out. So the perimeter is 314. And then 2 times, they tell us the length of the window is 85, and they ask us what the width is. So we have 2W left over. So then we go 314 equals, let's open our calculator back up. We have 85 times 2 equals, oops, didn't like that. I accidentally hit plus, times 2 equals, so we get 170. 2W, and then we start working on our solving equations as far as solving for a variable. So we undo the addition of 170, and I'm not talking about this addition sign. That actually goes with the 2 here, but because there's nothing in front of this 170, I know it's a positive 170. So to move it to the other side, I'm going to subtract. So we get 314 minus 170 equals, we get 144 equals 170 minus 170 crosses out, which is what we wanted to happen. And we bring down 2W. All right, last step to get W all by itself is it's being multiplied by 2. We have to undo the multiplication with division. So we do 144 divided by 2, and we get 72W equals W, sorry, which is exactly what they got here. And we just type these in once we get our answers. All right, so let's go ahead, try this out. Trying to erase just the pieces there. All right, so I'll write this in red just so it's a different color here. So it says for part A, the perimeter of a rectangle parking lot is 344 meters. The length of the parking lot is 99 meters. So since it's perimeter, I know I'm going to use this equation over here for perimeter. So I'm going to have perimeter, which is 344, equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. We don't know the width, we're trying to find the width. So 344 equals 2 times 99, which is 198, plus 2W. All right, so now we want to start solving for W and getting it all by itself. So first thing we do We look at what's being added or subtracted. I know there's a plus sign in front of 2, but it's actually smushed together with W. That means it's being multiplied. It's a positive 2 being multiplied with W. So first we want to move this 198. And we get, oops, well, dang it. 344 minus 198, 146 equals 198 minus 198 crosses out, and we bring the 2W down. And then the last step is to undo this multiplication by dividing by 2. So we can click divided by 2 equals, and we get 73 equals W. So I'm going to put 73 for this first one. All right, the second one says the area of a rectangular pool is 6,816 meters squared. If the width of the pool is 71 meters, what is the length? So we know, we'll put part B down here. Hopefully I have enough room here. So we know the area is 6,816 meters squared. And the length, oops, sorry, width is 71 meters. So we're going to use this equation up here. So we have 6,816 equals length times 71. So all we have to do to solve this one is divide both sides by 71, because that's how we undo multiplication. L times 71, so that means multiplication. Undo multiplication, so we have 71 divided by 71. We divide both sides. We just need to figure out what is 6,816 divided by 71. And that equals 96. 96 in here, and we click check. Yay, we got one all finished up here. All right, so we're going to do a couple more of these. Okay, so the area of a rectangular field is 4,000. What happened there? 4,455 meters squared, and the length of the field is 81 meters. So we're going to use area. So we have 4,455 for A, or area, equals, we know what our length is for L. What we want to find is our W. So just like in the last one, we're going to divide by 81 because that undoes this multiplication. 81 divided by 81, or any number divided by itself, cancels out. So we just simply need to find out what is I hit the wrong buttons, divided by 81. So 4,455 divided by 81 is 55. So it's 55 meters on this one. All right, so part B says, the perimeter of the rectangle painting is 332 centimeters. So we know we're going to use this perimeter. So I know how 332 equals, because that's our perimeter, and they say the width of the painting is 75. So we know what the width is, but we don't know what the length is. So we know we're going to have 2L plus 2 times 75. So then we go 332 equals 2L plus 2 times 75 is 150. We're going to subtract 150 from both sides, just like we would in a normal equation when we're trying to solve for a variable. We want to get the L all by itself. So let's see, we have 32 minus 150, and we get 182. 182 equals 2L. The 2L just comes down. 150 minus 150, cancel out any number minus itself. So our last step, and I apologize, I ran out of room, is to divide by 2. Can kind of squeeze it in there at the bottom. because what that does is undoes the multiplication here. So instead of 2 times L, we just end up with L equals, and we simply divide by 2, and that gives us 91 centimeters. All right, let's check. Yay, all right, one more. The perimeter of a rectangle garden is 298 meters. So we know we're going to use perimeter. So we know it's 298 meters for perimeter. And the width of the garden is 65. So again, we have 2L plus 2 times 65 because they gave us width instead of length. 298 equals 2L plus 65 times 2 is 130. Just 130, sorry. And then we want to start solving for this L here. So we want to start getting it by itself. So first I'm going to move the 130 because we want to undo the addition here. So then I have, let's see, 168, 298 minus 130, and we get 168 equals, the 2L comes down, 130 minus 130 cancel out, which is exactly what we wanted to happen. So our last step is to simply just divide by 2. Divided by 2 equals 84. So we have 84 meters equals the length. All right, the last one here says the area of a rectangle is 7,708 centimeters squared, and the length of that window is 94 centimeters. What is the width? So we know the area, we know the length, we need the width. So all we have to do is undo the one multiplication by dividing on both sides. So we end up with 7,708 divided by 94, and we get 82 equals any number divided by itself. Remember, that's a 1, not a 0, and we just bring down the W. And didn't give myself a letter in there, but it should be centimeters. All right, 82. So there we go, another one down.